what to do, but the skill, some of the people that we call from Nigerians, they don't show that duty of care.
You see, we just finished discussing made in Nigeria, sourcing your materials in Nigeria. Yes. So you're trying to say that those of them you import from the neighboring countries know what they are doing more than the people you have here. Yeah. Okay, what about developing the ones you actually have here? That's where we're talking about skills development.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is happening now. We have all noticed it, that most of the time we bring a tiler, a plasterer, they're not Nigerians. By some accident, they end up being, you know where they're coming from. But I think it's probably not deliberate, because those ones see more work here. So they come here and they make their services available. What do we need to do? We can get, it wouldn't necessarily make it cheaper for us. However, it will get more of the Nigerians jobs. I do not think it will make it cheaper. If we have more Nigerians providing those services, maybe then it can become cheaper. But I don't think it would reduce any price for us. But obviously, there are more tilers that are not Nigerians, and there are more plasterers that are not Nigerians. That's clear. I don't know if Nigerians are not interested in that type of labor. Maybe that's the issue.
Okay, is it just about the tilers?
Well, that is where you find most of this.
The imported workers.
Yes, that's where.
Okay, so how much of locally building materials do you source from within?
You see, to understand it, 70% is imported, 30% is in Nigeria.
Why?
And that 30% is block work, cement, and to some cases paint, and then sand.
So is it that the 70% can be sourced here in Nigeria?
The quality is not here. That is it. So what we're talking about, majority of the internal finishing of most buildings is brought into the country. The super frame is what we find here, the framework. The steel and iron rods are imported, and that's what makes up the building, the iron rods. So if you can do that in country, that will drastically reduce some of your cost. Also, the internal finishing, the tiles and the labor, all imported. The sanitary ware and all of those things, mostly are imported. So that is where the challenge is. If we can turn this around and find majority of the internal finishes in this country.
So how can that attitude actually be changed? Because that's what we need to actually grow the country.
Yeah, good. So it's already happening with the situation of the Forex that happened 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Some people have started manufacturing Nigerian tiles. So if you go out and look for tiles, they will tell you this is Nigerian-made tiles. Same with sanitary ware. They've started doing it. It's just the fact that the numbers, in terms of capacity, may not be there to deliver all at the same time. But it has started and needs to be sustained. And then the quality must be there, because that's where the competition really is. If we have quality produced in Nigeria, there will be no need to go and start bringing things. It takes a long time to even bring things in.
What about bricks? Bricks are sourced here.
Oh,
so
yes,
shouldn't that be
block work is done here. Nobody brings in block work.
Okay.
Yes.
So how much support is the banking system actually giving to those of you in the real estate?
The bank, I don't know whether the banks are doing much for, not because they don't want to, I say this, but it's a very tough situation. The cost of money, as everybody knows, is prohibitive. It's already it's a 20% plus area, because the money they get themselves is very expensive. So in order to give it to areas like real estate is a long-term business. So for them to even give you money that is a long-term and it's a short-term amount of money, it's very difficult. So there needs to be some creative development on the financial side that would allow, bottom line is that the interest rate needs to come down.
All right, so how effective is the mortgage financing system?
Same problem.
Same issue?
Same issue. The mortgage interest rate is still high because they don't have long-term funds at the moment. Of course, you know, the government is working with the NMRC trying to see if they can disintermediate and make sure that interest rate come down. But we still need to find long-term funds that will support the type of asset that real estate is.
Right. Now, the Land Use Act,
yes.
You know, that seems also to be a problem for the real estate sector. What review would you suggest in this?
Okay. My view is this. I support Land Use Act because what the original intention for the land use is to bring land and make it available to everybody. The problem with land use is simply how it is now being distributed. You have a central body person, the governor, who gives the consent. And you see that's where some of the issues are in terms of it. And recently also there was the issue of how you compensate the land that the government has taken. So the review, where we're looking at this is that the state must find a way that it opens up allocation and is not just in the governor alone. Secondly, the back end of it is when government takes land, it should find a way of properly compensating those it is taking land from, so that the issues of these Omanile issues is forever taken care of. And I think for me, those are the two areas that we need to deal with. All
right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga Ismail. Thank you for your time. Right. Gbenga Ismail is the Deputy Chairman of the Real Estate Group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce.